Hello, antique padlock collectors and lock pickers. Today I have before you a beautiful bronze casted FRAIM railroad padlock from Southern Pacific, marked U140. You can't really see the zero, it's hiding right here. Anyway, there are certain locks that you have to pick open in order to make a key. Not all railroad locks benefit from that. Well, this is one of them that you really do have to pick open. So how do we do that? What is the best method? Well, no matter what method you do, you want to leave as little evidence as possible that the lock has been picked and tampered with. And sometimes after picking, you leave a lot of brass dust coming out of the keyway, and the lever tumblers get all marred up. And to me, that's troubling. I don't like leaving all that forensic evidence. I like to leave as little evidence, get in quick and get out quick. And the same goes with picking the lock using shackle tension. I discovered this little piece of wood that has a natural little wave to it. And what I do is I come from the back side and I wedge this underneath the arc of the shackle and the top of the lock body here. And I'm able to one-hand it and essentially create a lever. And that creates more than enough tension in order to pick the lock. Now, where do we pick the lock? Well, that happens at the 3 o'clock position. A working key will open the lock anywhere between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in either counterclockwise or clockwise direction. Now, since I never had a factory key for one of these locks, I really don't know what the factory key will allow. I know that the keys that I've been making for this lock, and I notice I stress keys because I had a lot of failures. Originally I made keys from steel, and I just wasn't quite getting a proper shackle response. I wasn't getting that every single time open. Well, you'll notice here on the lock that there's a little gap. See that right there? Okay, that's what you want to find. Well, what I discovered on my original steel key was the lock would, or the shackle would close, and that little gap would just disappear. And as a consequence, when I went to use my steel key, the lock just wasn't opening. And so apparently I didn't cut something right. Maybe it was too shallow or too deep, but no matter what, I just wasn't happy. So I decided to use a different material. Well, what else is there? Brass? No. Brass is way too soft. I'll never go back to brass. Well, what I discovered was beryllium bronze. Woo, strong. Not like brass. This stuff is great. But I will give you caution. Make sure you wear a mask when working with this stuff. I've been told that the dust is not good for your lungs. It could cause cancer. So in any case, this happens to be 2 millimeters thick, and it works beautifully in the lock. And I'm able to get a perfect response. Look at that. And it works either in the clockwise or in the counterclockwise direction. Now you notice I cannot open or turn the key anymore in that position. So if I were to close it, what happens? Snap. And now you can, so it's sort of key retaining if you're going in that direction. Now let's see what happens if we go in the clockwise direction. If I can one-hand this. Okay, I can keep going and remove the key. And of course, if you go counterclockwise, you can just back it out if you had to do it that way as well. But yeah, in any case, I discovered by using the beryllium bronze, not only is it strong, but it impresses nicely, so it's very forgiving. And it's nice knowing that you have two metals that are very close in metallurgy and very similar in hardness, but there's a significant difference obviously with the beryllium bronze. And it's going to impression nicely without really chewing up the lever tumblers in case you have to use impression. And frankly, I kind of used two methods. I used L wires to take the meat of the depth gauges or depth cuts on the bitting, and I used impression to really dial it down. So anyway, yeah, this is a really beautiful lock. So I wanted to give it justice. This key is just great. And this beryllium bronze, this will be my go-to metal for making flat keys. Forget steel if I can avoid it, because steel rusts, and stainless steel is too soft and it's too hard. It's going to scrape the lever tumblers. So the beryllium bronze is a beautiful compromise. Anyway, guys, I hope you learned something today.